Thanks for staying with us. So, as I mentioned, it's our ladies' night out, and we're discussing the Twitter ban, if it was counterproductive, especially juxtaposing that with the VPN. So let me hear from Elsie first.
Me first?
Yes. Before I'll come to Uti, then Maury.
Before you say something is counterproductive or effective, you need to be able to decide or understand why what is done was done. Now, was it done because they were thinking of our reputation outside Nigeria? I don't think so. We know why it is done, even though they are giving us different English, divisive, whatever. As far as I'm concerned, this is just to be able to show their muscle to say you cannot delete the tweet of President Muhammadu Buhari, right? And they've done it, and it's having different dimensions that they probably did not see coming. So is it effective? Based on that, they've been able to show that if you take down the tweet of our president, this is what is going to happen, and this is how we are going to react about it, and we are going to be childish about it. However, I was doing some research today, and which is why I said I'd like the quote you took. For me, it's not really a quote. It's more like saying what is happening in Nigeria at the moment. I saw something on India, because everybody have been making noise about China, Great Wall of China, and everything. But let's go back a bit and look at what's going on in India. So in February, they decided to tighten their regulatory grip on social media by announcing a new rule that would take effect in the next 3 months. The 3 months, I think the 3 months starts next month or thereabouts. And what they're trying to do is to ensure accountability on the side of the owners of this platform, especially when they think that there is a tweet or a content. This is not just about Twitter for them. They are doing it across board.
Social media.
Right? When they think that there's a content they want to pull down, they want to be able to reach Twitter, and so they're asking them to set up committees, set up, I think, a chief controlling officer in their country, so that they can easily reach out to this person, and the person can look at the tweet and pull it down in the space of, I think, 36 hours or thereabouts, instead of having to start looking for long ways to reach them. And of course, going through a court injunction as well. It's not just pick up my phone and call them to say bring it down. However, from the things they have mentioned as well, WhatsApp is complaining that if they go by some of the lines they have created in the guideline, it means that they would have to break their end-to-end encryption, and they wouldn't want to do that. So they are not saying no. They are now going to the negotiation table. I think WhatsApp has gone to court already to say we need this part of the guidelines removed. They also did this because Twitter ignored a government request to take down content related to one farmers' protest one time, right? So they decided to go back to the drawing board, not react like our uncle is reacting, right? But do something within the ambience of the law to say what can we do and how can we ensure that we are protecting the kind of information that is online. And even when it gets online, we can easily pull it down. This is not to say it won't get online. You cannot, I don't think, you know when we were having this conversation yesterday and we were talking about having to control social media. There's an extent you can control people. Social media is not bots. In fact, when you have bots on social media, the owners of this platform want to take it down. There are human beings behind these handles and behind it. So there's an extent to which you can control human beings. And it also means there's an extent to which you can control human beings with technology, right? So the question is, how do we begin to have guidelines and create rules? For them, they call their own guideline the Intermediary Guideline and Digital Media Ethics Code. But this is still going to work with the law. You don't wake up to pick up your phone as the president of the country to say, this is not going to happen, you take it down. You have to get an injunction to make that happen. So these are people who wore their thinking cap, sat down to create a law and ensure that this is what we want, and then they pushed it out. And then they did push it out to say it has to happen now. They give them 3 months to ensure that there is room for conversation, there's room for negotiation, and there's even room for lawsuit, because I know WhatsApp has taken them to court. You know, so that is a kind of conversation that when it starts, I would not be saying, oh, you are trying to bring down social media. It means that, yes, maybe you were hurt and that made you realize that something has to be done, but you're doing it with words. Within the ambience of the law, you're doing it because you understand what you want to get from it, and you're making sure you're following due process. Please, what process
are they following?
That the House of Assembly even need him to explain the process?
Okay, so let me come to you, Uti. Today is
A
an
busy house of
interesting day.
rep.
Uti, are you there? So
I'm
when you
here.
saw the Twitter ban over the weekend, so what came to your mind? And this ban and again with the surge of a lot of young people using the VPN, is this not counterproductive in terms of what the government initially set out to do in gagging or probably like stopping people from using the Twitter platform?
So I'll just say a couple of things. I think Elsie has taken the high road in terms of going to find what other people have done differently. Mine is simple. The Nigerian government needs to stop worrying about being embarrassed and actually focus on the problems. In my own day-to-day line of work, I deal with problems every day, every second. And if you focus on what the customer is saying and how the customer is reacting to your brand based on the problem, you miss it. Because there's a reason why that person is upset. There's a reason why the person is addressing you or your brand in the manner in which they choose to. Please, our government needs to start to major in the majors. We have a lot of problems in Nigeria.
We do.
Too many that the reaction to this Twitter situation is akin to taking a sledgehammer to an ant. The whole Federal Republic of Nigeria, a whole almost, 900 and something thousand square kilometers or square miles of country, a whole 206 million people are fighting one country, one company. I beg, stop it. It borders on the ridiculous. Now, let me play a bit of devil's advocate. I'm not a Twitter aficionado. And my brain needs too much. The rate at which Twitter moves, I can't deal with those many notifications on my phone, and I can't really follow. I enjoy Twitter in bite sizes, preferably through screenshots from somebody else's phone. But some of the things that we have seen on Twitter and some of the ways that Twitter has been used by all parties now, this is not just, because let's not forget that 2019, 2015, these platforms have featured very heavily in our politicians' campaigns. These platforms have served them. Everybody has an agenda, and everybody's pushing their agenda on this platform. You can't just wake up and say, you know what, even if they had a problem with Twitter, and here's the thing sometimes when we always say, who is advising our leaders? Even if you had a problem with Twitter, it wouldn't be on the back of Twitter deleting a post that you would do this. Nobody's going to take you seriously. Not at a time when our economy is struggling, not at the time when people are looking for a way to explain what is currently happening in Nigeria. Insecurity is everywhere. It's rampant everywhere. Our government has not figured out how they're going to sort all these things out. But in the space of 48 hours, they can announce a ban. The whole Attorney General of the Federation can talk about prosecuting. So it makes us look like a joke. It's one thing for me, Lone Ranger, citizen, to look like a joke. It's another thing for the entire country
To look like a joke.
to look like a joke to the whole world. Like people will say, what's really going on in Nigeria? So when all these people that woke up this morning and saw IPOB and all of these things trending, we become water cooler topic. People start asking themselves, what's really going on over there in Africa? What do you think is happening? Can you imagine how ridiculous we look? Then there are companies who are probably 3 days ago talking about investing millions of naira or dollars in Nigeria, who will be rethinking it today. Like, can you imagine if Twitter actually had their offices in Nigeria as opposed to Ghana? Twitter would be offline now. They shut shop, lock everywhere, close everything, arrest everybody. First.
Sealed by the Federal Republic of Nigeria, federal government.
So sometimes when I say I want to play devil's advocate, I want to be on the side of the government sometimes, because like now people are using VPN. For me, you know, I always say, two wrongs don't make it right. If they are behaving foolish, let's also not join them and say, okay, sometimes you want to do the rough, but no, let's not.
But Utsi.
But the reality of it is, this one, it really is just the government, a democratically elected government, forgetting that it is a democratic government and deciding to wield the hammer. I don't want to reference armed forces or whatever it is. It is not, that's not the way things are done.
Utsi.
You know?
So
it's not.
So this VPN thing you're talking about, right? So okay. Let me not try to, yes, it's irresponsible for young people to say that they are going to download the VPN to bypass the...
Why is it irresponsible?
Wait now, that's what she said. I'm repeating what she said.
But she didn't use the word irresponsible.
But she said, Uti, what did you say, Biko?
She said two wrongs don't make it right.
Two wrongs, it is irresponsibility.
No, it's not irresponsibility. I'm simply saying that...
What is the meaning of two wrongs don't make it right?
To do something wrong doesn't mean that you should also choose to.
Okay. Okay, let me not say my mind. Maury, I can't shout. Maury, please, let me hear your thoughts. Essie is ready for me this night. I'm not ready for you.
Okay.
Maury, are you there? Did we lose Maury? Okay, so what I was trying to say is, whether you like it or not, when you talk about the VPN, you're still going back to say, irresponsibility. I'm trying to find how you said the word. Two wrongs don't make it right. The people now, I go to the VPN just to go and check for information to see what is happening. And interestingly, major news platforms, major online news whatever channels, they are still posting, they are still tweeting. And that is why a lot of people, when the BBC asked the Minister for Information, would what's his name? Papa Adeboye and Papa Kumuyi be prosecuted. You see the way he stylishly pushed it. Like, I don't get how our leaders are not able to do something
but we don't think things through.
Do you understand?
We don't think things through.
They don't think it through. So you now push it. Now there's a big way, because I don't know, it seems like the Twitter ban is specifically targeted at the young people. Because now that you say that, oh, when you breach this this ban, you will face the consequences of the law. And they asked you a clear question. The answer should have been, of course, they will face the consequences. The next thing it is the discretion of the Attorney General. So that means that, and that is why when they keep on trying to defend that this thing is not personal, you cannot help but not believe that it is not personal. You know, so that's my headache with all of this drama. So when I see people using VPN, I would not consider it that it is two wrongs don't make it right. I need to know what is happening in the world. Do you know how crippled I have been?
You can look on Facebook now.
I'm not a Facebook person. I have been so crippled, Uti.
There are many ways for you to get news. So it's not, they haven't shut down the internet. So there
but
are
Uti, you will not blame people that are using VPN.
It's just very simple. Look, whether we talk about it being effective or being counterproductive, the government itself has not even been able to properly demonstrate what it is the ban is supposed to achieve. Because you can't just come and say, we're not doing this. You're not my father. It's not a no because you're a parent. If you say you're not doing it, there is never dialogue with our government. We need to learn to come to the table. All these issues that we are having right now, they are not new issues, by the way. Insecurity has been here. Boko Haram has been here longer than this government has been here, this particular administration. But
we
when
now have
we
unknown
don't dialogue with people, when we don't invite people to the table, that's exactly what we saw in October of last year. People are saying, look, we want to be heard. We want everything that is being called for. Nobody is talking. So when you take a sledgehammer to an ant and say, you know what, Twitter is the problem, kill it. Which problem in particular are you trying to kill?
Okay, so I was going to say,
even understand what it is that you're trying to achieve.
I get you. We don't have that, and I think for me,
it's not the tweets.
That was why when I
to assume.
Uti, that was why when I
your tweet, you ban them, but you say it's not because of the tweet. How do we know? What else? It's cause and effect.
Is it possible that the government is trying to achieve?
We don't even know what your problem is.
I'm not sure Uti
can hear me. Uti, is it possible that the government is trying to achieve responsible use of social media? maybe that's why.
What is
okay? So let me open the
So-
phone line, because it is important that we also hear from you watching us, our viewer. Let us hear from you what you have to say about this ban, and generally your thoughts, right? Because I think for me, the language should have been, okay, maybe there's an irresponsible use, because Nigerians, we sabi report ourselves. We talk a lot on social media. We see everything, and we do not even, there's no caution. We just say it as we feel.
So are we going
right?
to have like a rule book or a Bible that tells us this is what you should say on social media? Like I said,
It's
from the
a
beginning.
question. Here we're having a conversation.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah?
From the beginning, I already said that you cannot control humans in the capacity that the Nigerian government is hoping that they will control humans. Even before social media, people tell you managing human beings is one of the toughest jobs you can have, right? Now, this is the first time, if you notice as well, I remember you said when you go on social media with your VPN, you are seeing different media platforms. Did you notice that this is the first time a lot of media platforms are openly questioning the NBC and saying, why exactly would you tell us to do this and do that? And this is to tell you they have overdone it. It doesn't make sense anymore. It doesn't. And for me, you want to open the phone lines?
Yeah. I think we have Tayo, right? Thank you for calling. Let's hear what you have to say.
Okay. Good evening.
Hello, Tayo. Thank you for calling.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so my contribution to this whole saga is that, if they want us to be responsible, I think they have to show it that they're responsible too. I mean, that's what led to all this, was a function of somebody not doing what is right, understand? And if you expect the citizen to do the right thing, you have to show it yourself. We've seen the history of this, some of this government officials also, when they use this platform, they use it to attack other people. They use it to show what is obscene. I mean, obscene stuff outside there. Your guest said something about their father. I mean, that's just the truth. They're treating us like kids. They're treating the whole country like we are just a bunch of kids. And it's not good. It's wrong. I mean, this platform is used by so many people, media organizations, young people, business owners, and the rest of them. They use this platform to communicate, to reach the rest of the world. So the standard here in Nigeria is, you're banning this, you're banning that, cryptocurrency and the rest of them. So the starting point for Nigerians is even far below level 0. When the other countries around the world are starting from, very great height.
Yeah.
They're going to the moon, they're going to the Mars, they're even going to the sun very soon. So we are still here battling, issues of, use Twitter, don't use Twitter. That's petty for me.
Thank you,
really
Tayo.
petty, and we need to change all this.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tayo. So going back to our quote, the government solution to a problem is usually as bad as the problem. This is a clear definition of what is happening in the Nigerian government. And you see, for me, I think, because you said something about NBC, I wanted to bring to your notice that even with agencies, for instance, like EFCC, if you're not in the good books of the person that is in power, EFCC will come after you. We need to stop using institutions, right, to do personal vendetta, personal wars, personal fight. NBC is supposed to be a regulatory body that is seen to be fair across board, right? Not because a particular media house seems to be maybe in the supposed opposition party, then you see NBC coming at that media house, and clearly another media house flaunts the rules and they do not say anything about it. So that's the biggest issue I would have with some of this regulation. I don't have a problem with you regulating. I am 100% for regulation because we need laws to be able to keep our sanity in this country. We need laws. But don't use those institutions as as pawns in your hand to go and attack whoever that seems like the person is trying to come against you or criticize you. That's where I have a challenge.
So the conversation is always saying, oh, we don't have institutions, we don't have institutions. But I do agree. However, even when we create systems and institutions, I'm still a strong believer of the power of humans, the people power. It's still human beings that will be there. Do we have sense? And those that have sense, are they ready?
No. Elsie, no,
Because,
no.
Uti, let's hear
wait,
you.
hold on. So the Minister of Information now, right, is a man. And he's acting within his capacity of reasoning and thinking. So it takes us back to the crop of people we have leading us and how the open-mindedness is not there, the evolution, they are not thinking
Uti,
about
hold on
it.
your thoughts. Uti, hold on. I'll come to you, Uti. Let me just quickly take Bello from Bauchi, I believe. Thank you for calling us. You need to turn off the volume.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Suleiman Bello Garba, and I want to tell you I support what the government is doing.
Go ahead.
The thing is, so remember, if this country catch fire, Twitter is not going to come here and save us. Yes?
Thank you, Bello.
Okay, so Bello is done.
Yes. And the thing is,
Here's my question.
The government didn't ban the social media. It only banned.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
So-
when you call,
right,
sorry,
so
Uti.
there's two
When you
things that I
call
wanna
in,
quickly
try
say.
to switch off. Turn off the volume of your television set. If you're hearing yourself, you're causing a delay, and we can't really keep you for that long. Uti, come in. Let's hear you.
So when Bello comes in and says that when Nigeria is on fire, will Twitter come and help us? Please, we're missing the wood for the trees. Why is Nigeria catching fire?
In the
The
first
things
place.
that are being said on Twitter, are they snatching it from the sky? Is it not what is happening here? Is it not what we're seeing? This is exactly what we're saying. What is the root cause of these problems? If everything was fantastic in Nigeria and everybody was going on Twitter to say, Nigeria, the sky is golden, the birds are singing, will we catch fire? Please, why? What is the problem? Let's stop looking at the consequences and really dig to the actual root cause.
Issues.
What is going on in Nigeria that is causing people to be dissatisfied, that is causing people to actually voice
That make us even go on Twitter in the first place. But let me take Charles. Charles from Port Harcourt, I believe. Thank you for calling us.
Yeah, good evening, ladies.
Thank you, Charles.
Yes, good evening. I think what surprises me is the swiftness at which the government decided to react on the issue of this Twitter thing. And it's really baffling me. There are so many issues that is confronting this country. Urgent issues that need urgent attention in this country. But yet we are not seeing any action. Yet the government quickly attacked the issue of Twitter and all because of the president is annoyed with Twitter and know what they said. And like I said, he's an emperor. My dear, do you know the swiftness? If the government decided to channel that swiftness in solving the issue of insecurity in this country,
thank you.
We've not been hearing the issue what the
Twitter won't be the problem.
You can imagine the swiftness. Okay, the Attorney General said the other day that anybody that is violated this will be persecuted. I have done the wondering under which law will somebody be prosecuted? Under which law? He now said, okay, by the time the person is arrested,
you will find out.
My dear, it's baffling. Look at how many persons that have been killed in Benue State the other day. In Kebbi State, about 88 or so. In Oyo State, the same thing. The government has not reacted in any way, but yet they are busy chasing shadows. My dear, it's so disheartening what is happening in this country. This government they are not serious. They are not serious. They think we are fools. But it's very unfortunate.
Okay.
Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you so much.
Okay, very quickly. So I would like to say kudos to Jack. And it's basically because of his UI UX design, basically the user interaction, user interface. Because there is nothing that is happening on Twitter that's not happening on Facebook. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So it is even going too far.
And I even hear Facebook is worse.
It's even going too far to say they should go and solve the root cause of the issue. That is too far because this Twitter you are chasing, once you are done chasing it, and if we all agree to say, okay, well, let's be responsible like Uti have said, and two wrongs will not make it right, and let's just say we are not downloading VPN, we are moving to Facebook. Facebook is worse than Twitter.
Yes.
Because you have the ambience of 1,000, how many thousand words?
Yes.
To express yourself
well.
And you will see people that will give you details
of the incident.
So, which is why I said I have to give kudos to Jack for the kind of interface that Twitter has, which makes the trend and the conversation top-notch and easy for people to follow. And then you see media platforms picking it and making it headline news.
Yeah.
You don't have that interface with Facebook. However, if Nigerians go to Facebook, we will find the trend table. We will discuss. Because there was even one I saw on Facebook today because I had to go and start, using Facebook as well. And then I saw serious criticisms, and not even in lenient terms. They were attacking the government head on.
Head on, yeah.
So this is not about Twitter. So if their problem is about people opposing them and criticizing them,
Then
they
they
need to spend, maybe we should leave them, let them spend 2 weeks on Facebook.
On Facebook and see.
Then they
Let me
understand
take
if they want to shut down social media or they want to
Completely.
get the job done.
Absolutely. Let me take Femi. Femi, are you there? Thank you for calling.
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. One thing we have to know is that although we think that we are running democracy, the features that emerge look more like dictatorship and autocracy. And the level of IQ by which many of our leaders operate is very low. You see, when you have low IQ like that, what you resort to is aggression. When it is difficult to bring some of those so-called leaders to a forum like this and have meaningful intellectual discussions. So the only way they know how to express themselves and keep that dictatorship is to use the means which they are using now. Ban this, enforce this, lie here, and twist everything around so that they can get their way. So, I mean, we should ensure that in future we get people of high intellectual capacity, cognitive abilities, so that we can get meaningful discussions as emanating from people on this forum.
Thank you, Femi. Uti, let me come to you.
So I think I've said enough on Twitter. I just want to what I was going to say when Elsie was talking about institutions. These are not institutions. Institutions don't take into account the human element. That's the whole point of it being an institution. When the processes and plans you have put in place are bigger than any one person, then you can say it's an institution. Let's reference America. Let's reference what happened during the elections. Let's reference President Trump. Doesn't matter how much he stamped his feet, doesn't matter how much he went red in the face, he didn't get what he wanted because there were processes in place. The institutions were bigger than any one person. We don't have that in Nigeria. In Nigeria, one person is angry, has enough power, everything changes direction, and that's how we go. So these things are really organizations. We can't call them institutions. They are not at that point yet where you say,
You can categorize
the
them.
DG said something, and they say, no, the policy says this, and that's how it goes. Oh, God, there's nothing you can do about it. We're not there. So that's the problem that we have. It's actually the human element that is our problem, but in a different way.
Absolutely. So you have a comment with you.
Okay, so yes, we have a comment from Benson, and it says, good evening, ladies. Recall the saying below. Eneke the bird says that since men have learned to shoot without missing, he has also learned to fly without perching. And I believe that's by Chinua Achebe. And he goes on to say that in the social media age, it is almost impossible to gag any voice. So he is agreeing. And he says the government needs to learn to navigate the tide towards unleashing the great potential. Attempting to suppress will only fuel it. Totally agree. Thank you, Benson.
Okay, so there's a very hot text here. Don't know whether to read it from Richard. The president has lost touch. Garba Shehu is and thinks Nigerians are Adeshina is blind. He thinks Nigerians are blind. Why is Lai Mohammed and otherwise He should have come on air to speak. I hope the UK, US place direct sanctions on those in government and stop negotiating with federal government. We will see the maybe on our social media page. It's not me that will say it. But I think, I mean, we've had a fantastic conversation. And like Uti rightly said, we shouldn't call them institutions. They're actually organizations. Because if they were institutions, it would be bigger than one human being. You can't just wake up.
But do you know that for us to be able to even take somebody to court to say, this is not, it means that as bad as our constitution is, and we say we need to revamp it, restructure it, add some things, modernize some things, there are still laws that are holding these people from doing these things. But the question is, do they care? They don't. Because if it's a law-abiding country that understands the law, understands that it's a democracy, the Minister of Information had no right to put out that press release without even the consent of the House of Representatives or the NCC, or having like a deliberation for people to understand where he's coming from, where he's going to. And that way, I am sure that even if it's ATCON, they will be able to tell him, Oga, let's sit down and create our rules, and then reach out to these people in a professional manner or in the best way possible. But that did not happen. So the people, like she said, the human element we have, will not let there be an institution in Nigeria. Even if you have the best laws, they can tell you, my friend is the AGF, and I know the, what's the other man? Case closed.
Well, we're going to continue part 2 on Thursday. Because this matter, it seems unending. All right, so before we go, do ensure to follow us on Instagram. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and most importantly, we're planning a huge giveaway just to say thank you to you for watching and believing in the Ways brand and following the conversation. So do well to follow us on Instagram. It's at PlusTvAfrica. Like, share, invite your friends, and please share the links and let other people watch us as well. All right, so if you missed today's quote, here it is again. Thank you, ladies, first of all. Thank you, Uti. Thank you, Elsie. We had a fantastic conversation. This quote is for our government. Oh. The Nigerian government solution to problem is usually as bad as the problem. That's from Milton Friedman. We'll see you live.
Are you sure he's not Nigerian?
We'll see you live tomorrow at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.